hemodialysis के patients को we have thrombolized the patient. Thrombolysis is what basically have thinned the blood in very layman terms. Thinning of blood, all our solutions which is there in the hospital has a particular osmolarity which is equal to the blood. Now this patient has already thinned his blood. Again osmolar reaction होगा, filling fluid overload होगा, blockage, compartment syndrome. Next, the 6 C's of compartment syndrome. How will you see? Pain out of proportion. He or she will have severe pain, not a normal pain, severe pain. Pallor. They will become, you check both. The redness, like let's say here you press, it's still red, you can understand. Here it will be white. Pulselessness, that is red, that's like gone into amputation. Paralysis, you won't feel. That's why when a patient comes, why do you check for sensations on both the sides in trauma patients to see that he still has sensations. And that is also for 2 things. One is for compartment syndrome, one is for neurovascular status. Then is paresthesis, pins and needles, munge jo aate hai, this is that. Poikilothermia will be of course colder than the other extremity. All this you don't have to read, just remember it. Very simple things. Now this is the anatomy of needle insertion. This, just remember the compartments. I've put this for that because anyways we don't do compartment syndrome in ER, we do it in the OT. These are all the compartments where to insert needles. This is all. If you want, I'll send you the image. Now, how to know where to insert? Also that, just know the anatomy, where can you insert. But mostly how do you check for the compartment syndrome? It's pressure monitoring system. This is intercompartment pressure monitoring devices are there. Again, not present in our ER. Arterial line. You put an artery and check if the blood is coming out. If it's not, compartment syndrome hua hai. Mercury manometer system, normal. Apna laga. Locally also you can put a normal, the portable one. You will see if there's any pressure difference or not. Now, immobilization. This is what we do for fracture management in the ER. Advantages is it protects the injury. Diminish, of course, will reduce the pain because you stabilize the patient. Then alignment for faster healing, and it will help in healing the patient. This is what is called reduction. You reduce the fracture. But for any reduction, immobilization, you have to check again for 3 things I told you. Neurovascular, neuro status, vascular status, and skin status. If it's an open fracture, if it's a closed fracture, according to that. Now the types of immobilization. Splinting, the normal though, hum log crepe bandage, the hand slab, this is splinting. It can be static or dynamic depending on your diagnosis of the patient's injury. But this will give you like that normal crepe bandage. It's not completely immobile, you can still move. So that is dynamic. Static is completely immobile. Materials is like plaster, fiberglass, prefabricated devices. Prefabricated devices are those ones. So readily available hote hai, the which is particular for particular joints. Plaster. Plaster is basically apna gypsum, which is calcium sulfate types, which produces that heat. What are the advantages of that? It will decrease the swelling. And pressure related complications will decrease because it's not causing that much pressure, and it's easy to remove. Disadvantages is patient compliance. Patient can remove it. Doesn't have water resistance, so you cannot take shower and all that. And increase motion of the injury site because it's not a very hard substance. Prefabricated fiberglass pins, these are those colorful ones, the pink, blue ones you get. It can be easily cut and molded to injured extremity. It molds very fast to the injured and is light. Compared to the gypsum ones, you will see that the glass ones are much lighter. Less material is required compared to the number of gypsum wraps you need. This is less required. And gypsum produces a much higher heat than this. The disadvantage again is it's difficult to mold. You have to be an expert to be able to put it correctly. It's expensive and it's not available at all settings. Rural settings and all, you would not be getting fiberglass prints. Now splint plaster technique. Again, for that you have to do the neurovascular. For basically any immobilization, you must do the neurovascular exam. Comfortable, appropriate position for you and the patient. Make sure that he or she is in a comfortable position. Just don't make sure that, let's say it's a fracture here. Don't make sure that you have kept only that part of the patient inappropriate तुम्हारे प्लास्टरिंग के लिए. Make sure the whole patient itself, you itself are in a comfortable position so that it is better for both of you to immobilize. Now, extremity should be in position of function. That means you have to keep it in such a way that you can work with it easily. There should be no restrictions, your height adjustment and everything. Make sure everything is comfortable for you. Good. Up to it. Now, in splint plaster techniques, you have to apply what is stock roll. The soft roll हम डालते हैं to make sure that it's soft and there's enough padding. Because in plaster, you know how much heat is going to be produced. It's going to be uncomfortable for the patient. The patient will have thermal burns. So you can either use stockinette or you can use soft roll. And keep the soft roll 1 or 2 centimeters. Let's say you're plastering the elbow. You'll be plastering here, but keep 1 or 2 centimeters on both the ends extra of the soft roll so that you can fold it on the patients. Now, upper extremity injuries will require 3 to 4 inches stockinette. That is that soft roll. Lower injuries 4 to 6. Again, this depends on the patient's muscular structure. If it's a very muscular patient, you have to go for thicker. If it's a less muscular patient, you can go for thinner. But always lower extremities will have a thicker one than the upper extremities because of the muscle mass. Now, the plaster layers. In upper extremities, 8 to 10 layers of plaster. Lower, 10 to 12. Again, this is basic. Check the patient's muscular status and then do it accordingly to your own discretion. But make sure that it is the minimum is 8 to 10. Don't go lower than that because then you'll again be mobile. Casting. Again, same thing. It's apply soft roll, intent, 5 to 10 cent. This is very important. Casting mein upper, it has to be the thickness of the cast. Make sure in upper extremity it's 3 to 4 inches, and again lower it has to be more 4 to 6 inches. Aftercare in anything, you splint, cast, fiberglass, जो भी करो, what is the aftercare? Get post immobilization imaging. After pre तो तुमने देख लिया कि हाँ diagnosis कर लिया, इधर है, इसको reduce करना है. Reduction करने के बाद, immobilize करने के बाद, get a re-imaging done. Get a re-X-ray done to see that you have correctly done the reduction and immobilization of the patient. You have not impinged anything, you have not done it wrong, and वो वैसा का वैसा ही नहीं हो गया है. For this, you have to educate. Of course, you have to tell the patient exactly what you're doing step by step. कि हाँ अभी, because he or she will ask you कि अभी तो X-ray किया है, वापस क्यों X-ray कर रहे हो? Explain to the patient कि हमको देखना है कि correctly कास्ट लगाया हुआ है कि नहीं, because ये आपके लिए बहुत दिनों तक, for a few weeks of course you keep the cast. So make sure you tell the patient कि हाँ ये करना है. Tell the patient before you apply the cast कि हम लोग इसके बाद और X-ray निकालेंगे. All displaced fractures means anything which is not a closed, transverse, small. All displaced fractures have to be reduced immediately. Why? Because like, ठीक है ये चलो radius टूट गया है, it's out, it's going to be causing the patient pain. You have to reduce it immediately. And soft tissue complications, again, like I said, compartment syndrome can be there, neurovascular dyscongruency can be there. You don't want to lose the limb of the patient. The basic thing is in any displaced open fractures, you don't have to lose the limb. Remember, time is very important in all open and compound fractures. Provide enough painkillers. If it is a closed fracture, he or she will definitely have a lot of pain. Give the painkiller before even imaging. First, reduce the pain. If required, give adequate analgesia if you feel. Muscle relaxant. But muscle relaxant we don't, just primary is analgesia. Reduction maneuvers, location again. Remember what you have to do. Let's say you have to reduce a person's hand radius. You have to be in that position and the maneuvers have to be particular to particular fractures. Get yourself in a Now 3-point molding in contact in closed reduction. My fracture is here. It's closed. Like I said, one joint below, one joint above have to be immobilized. And 3-point, you have to apply pressure and make sure that you have kept the cast in such an alignment that you don't lose any other point and cause any more further damage. Complications to avoid. Any immobilization. Compartment syndrome, like I said. If the patient doesn't have compartment syndrome, we apply too much pressure, too much thickness, and like reduced, you might cause compartment syndrome again because of severe compressions. Make sure it's not, the plaster is not too tight. How will you check that immediately? Ask the patient after you've set the plaster. Okay, gypsum takes more time than fiberglass. Ask the patient to move his extremities, the small. Is there any cold sensation, any numbness, tingling? Ask that immediately after you've applied. Heat, injury or pressure source. Heat again, gypsum you apply, make sure you provide adequate padding to prevent heat injury. Because gypsum will cause severe amount of heat reaction. Pressure source. Don't apply too much pressure, that will create sores. Cast or burns is after. When you're cutting the cast out. In fiberglass, you use a saw. Make sure you don't cut the patient. Finally, everything can be fixed and reduced without the need of brute strength. You do not need to be super strong to fix any fractures. With the right technique, proper positioning, proper use of materials, anybody can reduce a fracture. And you'll find in any fracture in any patient is reduce the fracture, especially in open fractures and dislocation, subluxations. Reduce as far as possible, check the neurovascular status and the soft tissue and skin status. Keep these four in mind. That's all about orthopedic trauma. Questions?